Om Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So yesterday we were discussing about the divine Shakti of Paramatma, and that Shakti is Maya. Why is Maya Shakti brought into this whole discussion? Number one, we have been studying about the Drishta, but we also have to get proper Drishti about the Drishyam. All what is seen has also to be accounted for. We have to investigate all that which is seen also. In fact, that which is seen, today it is very, very important for me. Everyone who is in the samsara, for them, Brahma is quite low on the priority list. Our priority list has all the various objects which are in the domain of Drishya, which are objects of the world. We are seeing all these things. When we are seeing all these things and we are fascinated by these, we are cherishing all these, we are aspiring for all these things. In fact, these are the things which are taking me away from my own self. These are the things which are taking away from our beloved God, who is sitting right inside us as the very Drishta. We may not be having enough time because we are busy with the Drishya. So it is extremely important that we get appropriate drishti, vision about the entire domain of creation, entire domain of seeing. There are two components of the Viveka which brings about total freedom and liberation. And these two components are that you discover yourself to be complete, Purna, divine, infinite consciousness. But at the same time, you also discover that everything in the domain of Drishyam, it is the play of Ishvara's Maya. Anyone who appreciates both these components alone can continuously and effortlessly abide in this knowledge that I am complete. There are so many people who have gone very nicely into all these knowledge, all this wisdom. But there is one problem with most of the people. He says, well, I have got knowledge, but I am not able to abide in knowledge. I cannot be aware of this knowledge all the time. Now we need to investigate this problem that, well, you are a sincere person, you have been intelligently studying, exploring, meditating on all these things, yet in spite of your sincere efforts and desires, you are still not able to abide in this knowledge, which you know to be very logically good and perfect. Getting this knowledge at times is one of the most beautiful things which could happen to us in life. It's like awakening to a new dimension altogether about ourselves. We become as though the king of all kings. We are so complete. Yet, what a tragedy. Even the king at times forgets that the fellow is a king, and again we become that old beggar, wanting this, wanting that. And it is not just play, it is so important that it's a matter of my life and death. I can keep every other priority aside and keep on pursuing the things of the world. So it is this, objects of the world which is responsible, the entire things, they are responsible for us to displace this knowledge. This knowledge is displaced because of my fascination about the world, the importance which we are, erogating on this world. Because of that alone, in spite of all our sincere wish, we are not able to abide in that. So what is the solution? Merely, once in a while going very deep into the truth of yourself and trying to meditate also very sincerely, that's not enough. If in that same mind, you continue to have priorities in which the world is much more important than this knowledge. Whatever justifications we give, I've got to carry on my world, I've got to take care of my finances, I've got to take care of my house, I've got to take care of my ill health and whatnot, and therefore I've got to give too much attention outside. And there is no other way out except I compromise on my subjective aspirations. So at the end of the day, it is the world which takes away our attention. It's like a robber, it robs away my dedication, robs away my attention, robs away my focus. And again, I land up in the same, world outside, which we know very logically, it is not a permanent fact. It's not going to last at all. So therefore, this wisdom has got this component also, that please see very clearly that the world outside is the domain of change. And it's not, that scriptures are saying, it's our experiences. It is changing every moment. A very beautiful phrase has been used for that it is Drishta-Nashta Swabhava. Drishta-Nashta means, it keeps on changing even while you are seeing that. The things are seen just like, the clouds. You see up in the sky, one moment they are like this, another moment, this scenario has completely changed. Whether it's the weather outside, whether it is the things, whether it's the cloud, whether it is people, whether it is my mind, everything is continuously changing. And whatever has gone is never going to come back. This is the truth of all that which is seen. Everything seen is continuously changing and it's not static. Yet, not knowing the truth of all these things and following the world blindly, we have been just, dreaming and thinking about the world alone, with the hope that this changing world is going to give me changeless, permanent happiness and bliss and security and whatnot. This is not the truth. The truth is this, that the world is changing. I have got to, base my life on this fact that the consciousness is not changing. It is illumining every change. While the world outside, even when I am seeing it, is continuously changing. It's a flux. It's a domain of change. And anything which is changing is not permanent. That is what is called Vidya. That is what is called unreal. So So it is, after very deep philosophical exploration that we come to this conclusion that the world outside is changing. And that is what, the masters, they've been telling us, well, it's beautiful, it's there, it may be, useful, no problem. But the fact is it is changing, it's not going to be there next moment. All our happiness, all our past childhood and experiences, where are they today? Only in our memories. They're never going to come back. And I've got to keep on, repeating my old memories again and again, to relive those moments. So that's not a very practical proposition. The thing which is gone now. And this present alone is the reality. My understanding about this entire domain of perception is that this is a domain of change. It's a movie going on. Beautiful movie. Enjoy the movie. Make the best of the movie. And interestingly, our technology has not yet brought that kind of, presentations where the seer also is part of the scene of the game. Imagine one day, we may be having movies in which every observer is part of that movie. God has already done that. God is far ahead in technology and imagination and creativity as we can ever imagine. We are seeing a movie and we are part of the movie. So this is the truth of everything. When we are observing this and also understanding this, the best explanation which is possible, that God has this amazing power of creativity. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya. It's divine, Arjun, in Gita it said. Arjun, this Shakti is divine. It is, beyond the imagination of most of the people, and it's not easy to, de-entangle yourself from this Maya Shakti. It takes a lot of brains. It can be done. There himself receives. I'll tell you the way how you can, untangle yourself with its entanglements. There is a way out. But nevertheless, you will require all the intelligence, all the dedication at your command to appreciate the fact that this is all a domain of Maya and be unaffected by that. Even when we are studying all these things, I am sure you also will experience that. It is this world which will keep on bothering you, this body, this mind, and this world outside, the people here. They will be, object of my greater attention and emotions also. Slowly and steadily, I'll have to assimilate this knowledge and live this knowledge. That fine, it is there, When the children play on the beach, they are making beach houses, they are making castles and palaces, and then a wave comes and washes them away. That person, child will cry, oh God, I made such a beautiful palace and this wave has washed away. The parents are also playing. But just because of being bestowed with this knowledge that everything is changing, this doesn't matter, my dear. This will continue to happen throughout the life. Things will keep on changing. It is not the object which you want to hold on. It is the expression, it is the karma, it is the creativity, it is the enthusiasm, which is more important than, things outside. Be always ready that things outside will go away. A person, who has the priority that in and through all my karmas, my focus is not the object which I have acquired, but in the the process of this knowledge, I have actualized certain beautiful qualities and emotions and focus and intelligence and understanding. These are what are important things. Everything will go away. And in case if your focus has been your intelligence, your focus, your quietude, your wisdom, then you are a richer person. Otherwise, you will be a poor man very soon, poor person very soon. Because things are going to go away. So change your priorities depending upon the reality of things around. And as you continuously keep on, making your mind more beautiful, even Hanuman Chalisa says, Man Mukur Sudhari. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nij Man Mukur Sudhari. Having prostrated to your Guru, remembering your Guru, aspire to make your mind, the mirror-like mind, more cleaner, more beautiful. Keep that as the focus. Actualize this reality, this fact, rather than acquiring and holding on to things outside. Because this is a world which has been created by God only from His Maya. So this Maya Shakti was introduced, and now we get a drishti, the vision that this world is a dream. Just as in the night we had our dream, so also this waking state is the dream in the mind of the Creator, Brahmaji, or let us say God Himself. This world is also a dream, but it is a dream in the mind of God. And the Maya Shakti with which we create our dream world, that is the Maya Shakti with which God also creates this beautiful world outside. So no problems. I know the truth that it's Maya. I'll enjoy every show. I'll not be worried about these things. Otherwise, anything beautiful I see, I want it. Anything bad, I don't want it. Why don't we just enjoy the show? So there is an art of enjoying, there is an art of living, which keeps into consideration the truth of the world outside. This is Maya. The entire beautiful world is Maya production. When we get up in the morning, one should remember these things. I am entering this world which has been created by my Lord with His Maya Shakti. It's a beautiful dream in the mind of God. And come to think of it, I and you, they are part of God's dream. Whenever you are in the dream of somebody, they love you very much. They say, oh, yesterday you came in my dream. Oh, really? Am I so important to you that I came in your dreams? And here we are, we are in the mind of God's dreams. It is indeed, a magical presentation, a beautiful presentation. So that is how we need to look at the world. And thereafter he went into slightly more details. He says, well, this Maya Shakti has two components, which are Vikshepa Shakti and Avaran Shakti. The rule, the work of Vikshep Shakti is to do the Vikshepan, projection, creation, presentation. So this part of the Maya Shakti is highly creative. It's the inspiration of all creative people. And the world itself is an indication how creative she is. She has created the sun, moon, stars, and she has also created our body-mind complex. And everything is so amazing. In spite of all our knowledge, we have still not been able to duplicate our own heart, our liver, our kidney, our brains. It's just no comparison what this Maya Shakti can do. So this Maya Shakti, she has created everything. And there is no problem in that you have a beautiful world to see. The non-dual has become dual just for us. The infinite has become finite just for our pleasures. And it's indeed so beautiful. We've got a free pass for the show. It's a beautiful world. So that is the Vikshep Shakti. It creates. And what is creation? He gave a very beautiful shloka, very famous shloka. You may be hearing the shloka often from various discourses. That creation is that when one fundamental material is presented in different forms. It is presentation in different forms which is the creation. It is not really creation from zero, from absence, from void. Nothing is created out of void, Creation is something was there in unmanifest state, and this Maya Shakti, what she does is to present that particular reality at a level which is perceptible to us. So the imperceptible becomes perceptible. That which is the seed becomes manifest. This entire creation was there in the seed form. And what this Maya Shakti does, the Vikshep Shakti component of that the seed becomes, manifested. And it's visible now. Now is in that, profound compassion and blessing. So this is what this Vikshep Shakti does. So whenever you see any creation, creation is using one material and presenting it in different forms. So this is the understanding, this is the definition of creation as per the Vedanta Shastra. Any creation you see, you'll only find, the different manifestations of one thing. It will be a cellular manifestation. It will be a genetic manifestation. It will be a chemistry elements, manifestation, electron, proton manifestation. And that which is there at the micro level is also there at the macro level. Inside a cell there is nuclei and inside an atom a nuclei and various electron, proton going around. That is what we see at the macro level also. Sun is like the nuclei and all the planets are going around like electron, protons. So the same kind of story at every level. So this is what this Vikshep Shakti is doing, just presenting one reality in different form. What does this principle mean? It's a very amazing principle. This principle implies that look at any manifestation, including your manifestation. The same original truth is there in your heart, in your every cell of the body. It is pervading your entire being. It's right here and now. That fundamental material has taken your form, it has taken my form, it has taken the form of the trees, the birds, the animals, the mountains, the rivers, the stars, the moon. What is required is to go deep into any manifestation and you'll find, God sitting there. From this point of view, there are no differences in any, people around. White, black, or, brown. man or woman, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. There are no differences. Even a person of low caste has that same divinity, the same Brahma. Rich and poor, living and non-living. These are various classifications which we have done for maybe some objective, for some reason. But here a fundamental principle is being revealed that everything in the creation is that divinity. And what this Vikshep Shakti does is to present one basic upadan, material, into different forms. So you just need to look inside and you will find the ultimate treasure. The ultimate treasure is hidden inside your very roots. You know the 15th chapter which we chant, what does it say? Urdhva Moola Madhashakam. You know, when you look at the tree of life, the shakhas, the branches, the manifest part is, of course, beautiful, colorful. But the truth of the tree, that because of which the tree is standing, are the roots. Urdhva Moolam, the Moolam is Urdhva Utkrishtam. It is that which really matters. It is the very Atma of tree. So also, this whole world, go into the roots. Go into your own roots. Go into the roots of every thought, every experience. And you will find the ultimate treasure hidden over here. Hiding the treasure inside, down below has been not only the subject matter of these scriptures, but also our temples. You have heard about the temple in Kerala, Padmanabh temple. They're not even able to count how much treasure is there inside. And it is there inside the roots. And it's not merely the Padmanabh temple. Even your manifestation has got unimaginable treasures inside. So look within, and you will find a bounty here, unimaginable treasures, that which we have been searching for our lives together. So in this way, first, this Vikshep Shakti was revealed, and thereafter, we were initiated into the second Shakti, which is the most terrible one, the devil. Two sisters, but one sister, she is divine, and the other sister is such a villain. One sister, she is so creative, presenting everything, taking care of everyone, depending upon their whims and fancies. Every food is made, what do you like? I'll try to make my best. I'll try to do my best and present that which you really cherish and love. The ultimate. So one sister is presenting everything beautiful and the best which you like, which you love. And look at the other sister. So you keep on doing, I'll be, creating a scene in which everyone is continuously confused. They are blinded. They become deluded. And I won't be doing anything. How can I do anything? I'll just confuse their intellects, their Viveka. And rest will inevitably happen. So what this other Shakti does is she confuses our knowledge, our wisdom at two fronts. Either we'll be looking outside or we'll be, closing our eyes and sitting with us. When we're closing our eyes and just sitting with us in the world of our dreams and imaginations and thinking and meditation, when you are dreaming, thinking, meditating, now here enters the Avaran Shakti. And all what she does is that Antar Drg-Dryshya Viveka Avranoti. you get confused about the Drg and Drishya. They're two so opposite things that really speaking, nobody should have been confused. Are we confused about light and darkness anytime? And here one is of the nature of light, another is inert. We are getting confused about these two things. Hats off to our Shakti. Amazing work. You feel like a joke. What has happened to me? And therefore, on one front, the Drg and Drishya, the thinker and the thought, the seer and the seen. The truth of these two things, there is the veil from our knowledge. And when we open our eyes and look at the world outside, then here, one infinite consciousness, the reality, the existence, and the various names and forms which is taking. We cannot see the difference between these two things. These are also very evident. It should have been evident all the time because they are so different, they are class apart. Form is ephemeral, it's changing, and the content is always there. One is changing and one is changeless. Yet this amazing Avarana Shakti, what she does, that we are confused between these two things, and the changing are taken as the ultimate reality. And for us, for all practical purpose, when inside, you take that limited manifestation as the you, and outside you take the various forms as the reality, the platform is set for endless seeking. Because whatever you try to attain in your life, it will be very limited, it will be very small, and it will be also perishable. When we are aiming, dedicating, focusing our life only on perishable things, then you only have to cry at the end of the day, why this has happened to me. Just because, I didn't realize that these things are changing. I thought, that maybe when it comes to other people's life, then it is always changing, but for me, nothing is going to change. And my life, and my family, and my house, and my dreams, and my health, everything is going to remain static. And what more is ignorance? So this is the kind of thing which this Avarana Shakti does, and there we are. Outside when we look, we don't find God anywhere. Everything is perishable. When we look inside, we don't find anything permanent and divine here, timeless here. Everything is changing. So this is where we land up. And therefore, the 15th shloka said, Sa samsarasya karanam. This is what is responsible for our samsara. Samsara means endless seeking. Samsara is not a synonym for the world. Samsara is indicative of endless seeking. Look at us seeking. We've been seeking right from the beginning, childhood. I want this, I want this, I want this. The funny thing, is while the object of seeking keeps on changing, but seeking per se continues. Still today, maybe I am wanting something else. But come to think of it, I'm still wanting like a child. I'm still crying for this and that. Still dreaming for this and that. This endless seeking is indicated as samsara. He says, really speaking, you have been a shikar. This Avarana Shakti is sitting like a shikari and shooting arrows at you. And you have been hit by this Avarana Shakti. How compassionate for the teachers to say this. They don't say that you are responsible for your samsara. No, you are innocent. You are not responsible for your all the endless stupid seeking. You are not responsible. It is this Avaran Shakti. She is the culprit. She is responsible for you seeking. You are not tripped because of this lady. Smiling and enjoying the show. Rascal. You are not responsible. In case if you become conscious of this devilish power, then you will be able to handle it. I am going to tell you how you are going to handle this. जैसे किसी भूत आ जाता है ना, भूत आ गया, चुड़ैल आ गई, बोलते हैं doesn't matter. I have got to know mantra how to handle that. Let her be there, just wait for a moment. I am going to tell you how to handle this fellow. Because already, always using her magical powers to delude us. So compassionate of the teachers. Thank you, these masters. They are so kind. And he says, now let us go into these things and try to handle this problem. Now, when we see in the world outside any manifestation, what was creation? Remember, it's very important shloka. Creation is one fundamental material taking up different forms. And because there are different manifestations, we give different names for that. So creation is all about manifestation of different Naam and Roopa, names and forms. When you are asleep, then there are no manifestations and therefore no Roopa and therefore obviously no Naam. It's only when, some children, they are born in a family, so different manifestations have come, that you need to give a name to them. This boy, this girl, she is this and he is that, and the names are responsible in order to identify a particular manifestation. And thus these names and forms, they are created. Originally, what was the truth? Originally, what is the material? He says there is one divinity which is of the nature of Satchidananda. Brahma, Paramatma is of the nature of Satchidananda. How beautiful. Satchidananda is not a form. Satchidananda means existence, just pure existence. And that existence is living. It is blessed with life. It's a living existence. And it's also blissful existence. So that divinity, which is indicated by the word Sat, Chit and Ananda. In the beginning of creation, only an ocean of Satchidananda was there. Infinite, akhanda, non-dual. No time, no space. Only this reality is there. And thereafter, when the creation starts, this amazing creative power of that same Paramatma, which is intrinsically present in Paramatma all the time, whenever she manifests with the will of God, of course, then all what she does is that she presents different Rupa, and of course thereafter we give Naam. This Satchidananda is experienced by us every moment. In what way it is experienced? He says that I am going to tell you in the next shloka. So we'll read from 20th shloka onwards. Asti Bhati Priyam Rupam.
Asti Bhati Priyam Rupam.
Nama Chetyam Shapanchakam
Nama Chetyam Shapanchakam
Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam
Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam
Jagad Rupam Tato Dvayam
Jagat Rupam Tato Dvayam
Kham Vayu Agni Jalor Vishu
Vayu Agni Jalor Vishu
Devatiryam Naradishu
Devatiryam Naradishu
Abhinna Satchidananda
Abhinna Satchidananda
Vidyate Rupanamini
Vidyate Rupanamani
Upekshanama Rupe Dve
Upekshya Nama Rupe Dve
Satchidananda Tatpara
Satchidananda Tatpara
Samadhim Sarvada Kuryat
Samadhim Sarvada Kuryat
Hridaye Vathava Bahi
Hridaye Vathava Vahi.
So he says, what is our basic philosophy? What is our basic darshan, our drishti, our presentation? That every moment, every place, in every object, there is an all-pervasive divinity existing right here and now. The reality, the ultimate truth cannot be limited. In case if the ultimate truth is also limited, anything which is limited will be perishable. In case God is sitting somewhere in different loka, then maybe like any very powerful entities living somewhere outside, it also has to go through the cycle of change in life, birth and death, and old age, and perishability, everything. In case if God is sitting only in one place somewhere, and this will be the story of God also. Like yesterday, the day before, one godman, the so-called godman, MSG, messenger of God, he says, he was calling himself a very funny God, quite colorful God also. And a God who liked bikes and vehicles and everything, and that also not a simple one. We have all kind of things in this country. Beautiful country, amazing country. And that fellow, had an empire of his own. Inside his dera in Sirsa, there are more than 5 lakh people who can stay inside. So there are colonies, and there are multis, and of course his own palace, everything. It's a whole city kind of a thing. And he was maybe teaching, inspiring others also, maybe taking care of his devotees also. But whatever he was, obviously the recent case revealed that he was not a man of great morality and character. There was rather debauchery there and taking advantage of his own disciples. When at the time of Atal Bihari, at that time, one of the devotees, she complained, I've been raped. So she sent directly the message to the Prime Minister. And that Prime Minister was a man of principle, and he started the investigation, and finally, this fellow, during the time of another BJP Prime Minister, he got convicted and jailed now. So he is also a so-called God man. There are all kinds of varieties over here. whether good or bad, God is existing in everyone. In me, in you, in every cell of the body, in every flower, in every cow, in every dog, in everything. That is our basic proposition. We may not be knowing that is a different thing. But the philosophy clearly reveals that, please know this is the truth. So everything is pervaded by that divinity. And what is the nature of that divinity? Satchit Ananda. And Satchit Ananda is a matter of our experience also. How is this Satchidananda experienced everywhere? He is experienced as, the Sat is experienced as Asti. It is. Something is existing. Asti. Asti in Sanskrit means it is here. It is there. Only when a particular thing is blessed by existence that I can experience it. Anything which is not blessed by existence, I cannot experience that. Can you experience these flowers in the sky here? He says, well, we don't. But I also don't. This is just, hollow word, because these flowers, the imaginary flowers, they are not blessed by existence. That is what means by blessed by existence. Today, these things around are there in the room, the table is there, the chair is there, the camera is there, the books is there, my, the napkin is there, the flowers are there, mobile is there. When do we say there? When this particular thing has existence. It is blessed with existence. It is. Everything in the world is blessed by existence. This existence, you look at the stars, look at the sun, look at the moon, look at the sky, look at the mountains, look at the ocean, look at your beloved people around. First of all, they'll have to be blessed by existence. This existence component of any manifestation is the Sat. That is how, God is existing and residing in everyone. Our hand, our legs, our eyes and nose and ears and stomach and heart and kidney and liver, everything, first thing is, it is. It is blessed by existence. Now, because existence is so obvious, we take it for granted. We don't become conscious of that. Just to appreciate the existence part in anything, that is what implies to become conscious of the component of God. The second Lakshana is Chit. This is the Sat part. Another is the Chit. Chit is that which is, giving life to us. Life is that because of which I can speak and you can hear, we can think, we can move, we can talk. This is what is implied by, being blessed by life. Everything in the creation is pervaded by this Brahma, which is of the nature of Chit also. And therefore, you will find that Chit is latent, it's present in an unmanifest form in everything in the creation. At times it is manifest, at times it's not manifest. But never doubt that Chit is not present anywhere. Everything is embraced by this consciousness. Everything is existing in consciousness. Like all the waves coming from water, sustaining in water and going back in water. So also everything in this world is existing in this ocean of life, ocean of consciousness. And when it comes to our experiences, then we find that everything is revealing life in some way or the other. Whatever is existing. We may say, this tree is not revealing the real life, it is not as living as we are. The stone is not living. At least now, with all our knowledge of science, we should not be saying all these things. Everything has atoms and cells, and they are so dynamically revolving around the nuclei. Aren't they made of elements? And what are elements? As a student of science, I remember, when we were being taught about the different elements. At that time, there were 124 elements. Oxygen and carbon, hydrogen and whatnot. These elements, they appear to be inert. And when you dive deep into elements, they are all... The valency of all the elements depends upon how many electrons are roaming, going around the nuclei. They're living entities, dynamic entities. And where do we, extricate all the energy from all these things? Energy is latent inside these things. They may not be having a mind of their own, just as human beings and animals they have. But never think that they are, completely inert. They're throbbing with energy and throbbing with life. And that energy has got an intelligence of its own. And therefore it is in a particular form. Everything in the creation, look at the chirping birds, the blooming flowers, the rising sun. Everything is in the embrace of that infinite life. And life is manifesting through different forms. So this is how, one needs to see your own God. My beloved God is manifesting through everything. As consciousness, as life. And the third component is Satchit Ananda. Ananda is everything is beautiful, everything is, dear to somebody. Everything has inherently capacity to give us joy because it is blissful. Every object, therefore, it can potentially bring about a lot of joy to us. If not joy to us, look at the object, it is joyful in itself. Why should we think that, I need to get joy from outside? Everybody is of the nature of joy, including you. The ultimate bliss is to just be yourself. Not as what you are today, but knowing the truth of yourself. So the bliss component is also inherently there in everything. And of course, when the Vikshep Shakti, the creative power of Ishvara, when she starts creating, then every object has got a Maya component also. So he says, there are three components which are the components, let us say, of Brahma, of Ishvara, Brahmatma in you. And there is also a component of Maya in all of us. What is the contribution of Maya? Giving us a particular form. And, creating a basis for giving me a unique name. This name and form part is the domain of Maya. The Satchit Ananda component is the Amsha of Paramatma. This is where it is culminating to. This entire teaching is culminating into this appreciation that when you look at anything in the world, see very clearly that there are 5 components in every manifestation. What are these 5 components? Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Rupam, Nama, Cha iti Amsha Panchakam. These are the 5 Amsha, these are the 5 components in any object of the creation. Now we get entangled in this object. I like this and I don't like this, I want this, I don't want it. That is where the confusion rises. That is where the objectivity disappears, the analysis disappears, the possibility of waking up to the truth disappears, and I am more entangled in ego fulfillment. I like and I don't like. It's a terrible quality. Likes and dislikes are responsible for making us, devoid of knowledge. Likes and dislikes, the manifestation of ego fulfillment. We are busy, appeasing our ego rather than trying to understand the ego or understanding the truth. Either, one should preferably like everything, and therefore they are never entangled in likes and dislikes. Or you just ignore everything. When you have both the categories, like and dislike, then remember that statement, running towards and running away. Yeah? Either you are running towards something or you are running away from something, and you are highly busy fellow. People who are inflicted with likes and dislikes, they are ever busy, hyperactive people, and they don't have any peace in mind. The better way is to like everything. Remember, God alone is giving everything, and therefore everything has its own beauty. The thorns have their role, and the flower also has its role. The sweet fruits have their role, the bitter ones have their role. They are the aushadhi. They are, medicines for so many things. So everything has a role. After all, everything has been created by God. We have to use our discretion. What is, useful in a particular situation, not useful. Otherwise, likes and dislikes don't have any role. Why should you like? Why should you dislike? Even poison has a role. We know that. It's only when we get poison that, we can detoxify certain person. When they're bitten by the snake, it is a snake's poison alone which helps us to get right back on the track. Everything has a role. Nowadays, there's a big discussion going on in US and Western countries about hemp. Whether it is, useful, whether it is not useful. The law was against that. But then somebody discovered that this is a beautiful medicine for cancer and so many things. Even fibromyalgia is supposed to be an amazing medicine for that. Now they're discovering that and they're changing the rules now. Everything has some role. We have to appreciate, we have to wake up, study everything objectively. Everything is beautiful. Either you love everything or there's another option. You ignore everything. Everything is Maya. Come in either of the category, everything like, everything dislike. Then I don't really dislike, but I just ignore everything. I am not gravitating towards the object for any fulfillment. Because I'm seeing certain facts. I'm seeing their ephemerality, their changing, their perishability, and therefore I'm not attracted to them. It's an effect of my wisdom, my appreciation. There is no suppression. It is just that you see that something is so perishable and therefore why should I run after that? And at the end of the day, my hand is still empty. I thought that I got hold of something. And when you open your hand, it's again empty. I don't want to get in that race. And therefore, I'm not running after anything. Or I like everything. Only these two people can become free from the endless tribulations and thereafter inquire the truth of anything. You can see thereafter the truth of the shloka. That look at any object, look at any thought, look at any manifestation, everything has 5 components. What are these 5 components? Asti, Bhati, Priyam, Rupam, Nama. Naam Roopa and Asti, Bhati, Priyam. And in the second line he says, Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam, Jagad Rupam Tato Dvayam. The first 3 components are the components of divinity. FYI. For your information, for your kind information, the internet language. The first 3 components are the components of Ishvara. That is how Ishvara is present everywhere. As Asti, Bhati, Priyam. And everything is also endowed with these 2 more components, which are Nama, Rupam. Everything has a form and therefore everything has a name. This Naam and Roopa, they are called Upadhis. They are called as limiting adjuncts. They are called as conditionings. They have got such terrible power that once you get hold on to, hang on any form and any name, it becomes the greatest blockage. There was a student here once, he came for study, and later on, I said, well, you are such a dedicated, appear to be dedicated person, we have a tradition that I'll have to give you some other name here. That name will be some name of God, and therefore you have a godly existence, basically a manifestation of God. In order to give you the suggestion, I'll be giving you some name. And on this count, the fellow ran away. He said, I am not going to leave my parents' name. Come what may, I get this knowledge or I don't get this knowledge, please don't touch my name. My name is my existence. And finally, he had to leave the place. Just because of his obsession and identification with his name. Name is a big conditioning. Somebody changes your name, as though your whole identity has disappeared. Today, name is so important. We needed some fans for the ashram. So I asked some people, I need some help. So you can contribute, you can help and donate some fans. So I had a gentleman from Pune. He says, okay, Swamiji, no problem, how many fans you want? I said, about 24 of them. He said, I will send. I just have one request. You please put the name of my family on every blade of the fan. I said, said, well, sorry, my principle of the ashram is that we don't write any names of the donors. You just come and donate in the name of God to your teacher, to your God, to this institute. And feel blessed that you have helped this cause, that is all. But in case if you want ego fulfillment, the continuity of your name, which doesn't matter at all, who will know that, Mr. Gendamal is there? Who will care about Gendamal? Who will know about Gendamal anyways? Just your ego fulfillment. That your grandfather Gendamal, is still living there, rotating all the time, chakkar mein pade hue. But that fellow, he won't budge. Said, no, sorry, forget it. Name is such an important thing. Just for name, when the conversion happens, what has changed? Just the name. And somebody is so happy that now I have become a Hindu, now I have become a Muslim, I have become a Christian. The name has changed. Name is our identity. It's such an important thing now. Nothing new. The masters have been telling that this is a Maya. This is a conditioning factor. And just as the name is such a conditioning, binding factor, so also the form. Anything happens to your form, God forbid you meet an accident and your nose is wiped off. Or somebody throws some acid on you and your form is disfigured. What a terrible time. My form has gone bad. Form is me. So this Naam and Roopa, they're not simple things. These are the two things which the Vikshep Shakti creates. The Maya Shakti creates. And it is these two things which an ignorant man hangs on more rather than the very existence. An ignorant man is happy because of their form and name. And a wise man is happy because of the very infinite existence, infinite life and blissful self. That is where the difference lies. In case if somebody is still running after forms, this form is, this person is so lovely, so beautiful, this child is so beautiful, this dog is so lovely. These are different forms. It's not that, we are trying to ignore the forms. We have to interact through these various forms. We cannot, keep them aside, but at least we can have this wisdom in our mind that which really matters is not the form, not the name, but the content. The content is the real truth of everything, not the form. In case if you have some bad time, then you want to sell off your bangles, golden bangles. For you, they may be having any emotional importance. For you, these bangles may be very beautiful creation, lovely art there, creative presentation. But when you go to the goldsmith, that fellow is not bothered about the form and the design. He'll only weigh that thing, kitna bhari hai, and how much carat it is. He'll take that black stone and rub on that. He said, don't rub too much. He said, forget it, relax. I'm just trying to check out whether it is 20 carats, 18 carats, 22 carats, 24 carats, and it will never be. But what is the nearest? For me, the form doesn't matter. For me, the only importance is that of the content. For an ordinary ordinary person, this is the indication of an ignorant man that the form and the name are more important. And for a wise man, name and form, they are blessings of God, but the real focus is on the contents. A wise man is one, who takes a banana, peels it off, enjoys the banana. And the ignorant man is one who is throwing away the banana and enjoying the peel, hanging on to the peel. I went to somebody's house, I saw the lady's dressing table. And I found so many beautiful bottles all over, the scents and sprays and everything. There are so many scents, Swami, they're empty. There's lovely bottles, I've kept the bottles forever. So I don't like throwing the bottles, so lovely design, lovely, a jar of, all the kind of imaginable designs they are there, and she just kept them. They're empty, no contents, only the containers. And even the companies, they have to present their things in beautiful presentations. Intelligent people will see the container, but check out the content and also the expiry date of the contents. Don't be, just fascinated and blinded by the presentation and the container. It may be having all, expired stuff also. Always look at the content. The container has a role to play. It is that because of which this is transferred from here and there. But the real thing which matters is the content. So names and forms, they are no doubt very, very important for an ordinary person. But really speaking, it is the content which is important. The name and form component is given to us by this Maya Shakti. And the content part, which is the existence, the life and the bliss, that is the component of God. So when you look around now, we are trying to get the Brahman Drg-Dryshya Viveka. Remember two Vivek? One was the Drg-Dryshya Viveka, Bhayischa Brahma Sargayoho. Inside, this Avara Shakti, she confuses us with the Drg and Drishya. And outside, Brahma and Sarga is infinite consciousness, divinity alone. And Maya Shakti, she has presented that fundamental reality in different forms and names. In case if you get deluded by the names and forms, to the extent that you forget, you don't bother about the content. When Shurnagha goes to Lord Rama, she was the best, dressed lady at that time. Most beautiful, most presentable. Whatever the external beauty could have been, she was an embodiment of that. But Bhagavan Ram, he had a different set of values. He says, form all right, but I always look at the content. And the disaster was there that that particular form was disfigured. Her nose and ears, they had to be cut because that was the price. She had to pay for that stinking content inside. The content is not good, so the form doesn't have any values. So also in our lives, we meet so many people. You look at the form, you are affected, you are fascinated, you are impressed by the form, but inside the content was terrible. You realize later on, oh God, I've been taken for a ride. I should have, studied Ramayana and got right lessons from Shurnagha and all these things. Terrible content inside. And then after, your entire exercise is good riddance of bad rubbish. And then it's not easy. The laws of the world is that it's not easy. And everybody has their own share of that terrible experience. High time we realize the truth of all these, timeless wisdom. Always look at the content. Don't be bothered about the form. It's not that name and form, they don't have any role. They have limited role to play. And because of name and form, that which was unmanifest could be made manifest. So she has a role to play. But of course, it's a terrible game, and the possibility is that we get deluded in the whole process. It doesn't matter. Falling once in a while is not too much of a problem, but to again rise and wake up, to realize the truth is that which is more important. So it is now, turn towards the content and always see the content. I remember, earlier there was that Gita Press magazine, this used to come, Kalyan. In one of the magazines I remember, there was a statement, God is everywhere and you need to see God everywhere. I was wondering, God is everywhere. How do you see God everywhere? And then there was a cartoonist who had drawn a diagram there. I don't know what was the content of that drawing. He drew Lord Krishna with his flute everywhere. In the cows, in the Yamuna river, and in the cowherd, and the tree, and in the birds, and of course the peacock, and various koalas, and various koalin, everybody had one common picture, Lord Krishna. I thought maybe, I don't know, I was a small fellow at that time. I thought that is how you see God. So later on, I was sitting somewhere, do I see Krishna here? Lord Krishna here, Lord Krishna there. And it was such a terrible thing that I was not able to see. I said, no, I am a deluded one, I am an ignorant one. God is not blessing me, and when God shall one day bless me, then I will be seeing Lord Krishna everywhere. At that time, neither the objective of that article was to reveal the truth of Brahman, and neither I was ready to appreciate the truth of Brahman. It's only later on in these scriptures that we are revealed that how do you see God everywhere? Taking up various forms and taking up different names, it is the blissful conscious existence, which is the self of everyone. The self of everyone is consciousness. That is because of which they are living. And it's very blissful. It's infinite. And that is never going to perish. It is pure existence. It's timeless existence. When you start seeing as the Asti, Bhati, Priyam component in every form, that is how you see God. And that is logical. That can be substantiated by your experiences also. And you keep on, making this to be more real. For whomsoever, this Satchitananda component, when it becomes more real, the Naam Roopa proportionately keeps on becoming unreal. If Naam and Roopa is real, then Satchitananda, get veiled, it's not real. It's not even taken into a consideration. You're not even aware of that. But in case if you realize this and for you this thing is more real, then different forms, they don't matter. And again I remember the story of Ramayana, where Lord Rama, he goes to Shabari, an old lady, a tribal lady, so old that her teeth had fallen down and her, back had also become crooked. She couldn't stand, she couldn't walk, but Bhagavan saw beauty inside. Of course, the beauty there is the beauty of the mind, of the devotion in her, dedication in her, purity in her. But the form doesn't matter. The form didn't matter at all. You could see in and through the form. You could see the mind, you can see the self, you can see the emotions, you can see the existence. Anybody who is not affected by the names and forms, for them the divinity is all over. It's pervading everything in the creation. That is for me to know, but the interaction is always between names and forms. You can remain awake in that, you can remain fulfilled in that, you can remain, full in yourself, contented in yourself, and interact between different names and forms. But the real truth for me has to be the content. So the first three are the components of God, Adyatrayam Brahma Rupam. The first three, Adyatrayam, the first three are Brahma Rupam. They are the components of God in everyone. Jagat Rupam Tato Dvayam. And the last two components are the created ones, Jagat Rupam. They are the ones which have been created by Maya. And he says not only your body and one form, but this entire creation. Even when you look at the five basic elements, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal and Prithvi, these are the five basic elements. Even when you look at these five elements, again apply the same principle. Every element is. That is how it is being blessed by existence. Every element has intrinsic life in it to manifest it in different ways. And every element has got priyata in it. It presents itself in so beautiful, multifarious ways that it's attractive, it's dear. And everybody is dear to themselves, of course. All of us, the most dear thing is our own self, because it is blissful. It's of the nature of Ananda. Kham Vayu Agni Jalor Vishu Devatiryang Naradishu. All the five elements. Kham is the space, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Urvi is the Prithvi. These five elements. And thereafter different manifestations, Deva, Tiryam, Nara, etc. We say 84 lakh yoni. 84 lakh manifestations of different living beings are there. And the spectrum is right from animals and the humans and the divine devatas. There's so lovely people here and so terrible people here. Animals, the violent and the loving, the caring, all the manifestations. All the manifestations. Abhinna Satchidananda. Look at this now. The Sat, Chit and Anand, the components, they are abhinna. Everybody has the same principle. There's no bhinnata. There's no difference. Everybody is existing, everybody is living, and everybody is dear to themselves at least. Abhinna Satchidananda Bhedyate Rupanamini. The only thing which differs is their name and form. And this is the creative power of Ishvara. This is the Maya component. Doesn't matter. It also has a role to play. The only thing what is required is that we should not get deluded by that. Don't let any name and form, veil the content of any reality, any manifestation. The basic manifestation of everything in the creation is Satchidananda. Satchidananda is the Atma of everyone. Everyone. Good, bad or ugly. Everything is fundamentally Satchidananda. And the names and forms are different, and the thoughts they are different, the notions they are different. This is what is different. The body is different, the mind is different, the knowledge is different. The value structure are different. But just look at the content, which is something divine. It's beautiful. Initially, when a person, a human being is also manifested here, like a child, they are so lovely, so beautiful. It's only because of ignorance and arrogance and so many other problems that this fellow becomes like a devil. Otherwise, initially, ask their mother, look, their childhood pictures are so lovely, so innocent, so beautiful. Everybody is basically blissful, conscious and existing reality. This is what is veiled by the names and forms. So this is the direction of my understanding now. Think on that direction. And in the 22nd shloka, he summarizes the section and says, now you have this sadhana to do. Upeksha nama rupe dve Satchidananda tatparaha. This is the only thing you need to do now. Don't worry. Some paradigm shift has to be there. The shifting of the priority has to be there. The shifting of the priority from the excessive importance to names and forms to turning towards the fundamental content. He says, work on this front. Upeksha, do upeksha. Start becoming indifferent. Don't take it to be too important. Not that it doesn't have any importance, but you check out. Let no name and form become a kosha, an avaran for the truth. So now work on that. Satchidananda Tatpara. Become Tatpara, dedicated, fully devoted to be conscious of the content. Of course, you'll have to face many questions. You'll have many questions. Oh, fine, God is present in everywhere, but do you think even in this terrorist God is present? Even in this, devilish person, God is present. Says, well, God is present. What has God distorted is the mind of that person, the heart of that person, the emotion of that person. Go deep into the story of anyone's life, you'll find that, they have been hurt. They were not blessed with right education. How we are outside is only depending upon our upbringing and education. Start giving love to everyone right from the beginning and you have a lovely person thereafter. Many places, they don't get that love, the care in the beginning. They have fear inside, they have insecurity inside. And they are, exposed to wrong people, they are blinded by things outside. To have arrogance, to have, terrible kind of violence. Some people, they are, brought up in such a way that they think these are very good qualities. It is all because of mind. It's not about the content. Even that famous, story of Valmiki. Initially, he was a daku called Ratnakar. So he was a terrible daku. Whoever was passing through a forest used to just loot them. If required, kill them. And the fellow got transformed because of the satsang of Naradji, who was passing the forest once. And he became Valmiki. He started doing tapasya in such a way that Valmiki is called anthill. Anthill, it developed around him. Still, he was fully devoted in his particular knowledge and exploration, and from there came out such a profound master who enlightened us with the story of Ramayana, the immortal treatise. That person, the mind was not initially good. Mind can be changed by right education. And you have a beautiful person thereafter. If I wish, I can try this, but initially I need to first get grounded in this Vivek properly. Have this appreciation, own up this knowledge, validate this knowledge, live this knowledge. That the content of everyone is fundamentally Satchidananda. I am, this is Sat. I am revealing, this is Chit. I am dear, this is Ananda. Everybody is fundamentally Satchidananda. The names and forms alone differ. And of course their mind also differs, their education differs, their values differs. It is these differences, they're all in the domain of Naam Roopa. So it is these Naam Roopa which varies. So now, you have some homework to do for a long time. Revel in that. Appreciate that. Assimilate that. Start looking at the world in this way. And you know what was going to happen thereafter? You will attain samadhi. A person, who takes this track of appreciating the content of everyone as one reality. The culmination of this kind of sadhana is a profound quietude of mind. That quietude which cannot be disturbed by any sounds. There is a silence which can be disturbed by noises. And there is a silence which cannot be disturbed by noises. It is when your mind is silent. Let there be any noises around. In case if you are silent and contented, and you have this kind of understanding and philosophy of life, then you are not disturbed. So we shall go into that component of samadhi in our next section. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om Namah Parvati Har Har